Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. My name is Devin Siebold. I've got my lovely co-host, Mr. James Yan, here today.
Thank you.
And we're excited to have you all joining us. And if you haven't yet, subscribe on all the socials, not just the podcast socials, Crying in My Car, also Board Teachers. They're the awesome sponsors of the show, the partners of us. And then we also have Mr. James Yan, comedian. He's on all of the socials as well. And then, of course, they all follow me. I didn't know really any different. You
Gotcha.
know, but
practice my courtesy. Yeah.
No, man, it's been awesome. It's been a cool ride. I saw a lot of people out at the Denver shows that we did to wind up the year.
Nice, man.
With Board Teachers.
How'd that go for you?
It was amazing. I honestly think it was so dope. Seeing all the people, a lot of people saying, "Hey, we listen to the podcast. We watch the podcast," and you're much bigger in person. Kind of intimidating. Don't hurt me, but. It was really dope.
Gotcha.
Now, I will say, this has not been... I got a story for you, James, okay? Because this is one of those things that I didn't chime in. I did not say a word, but in my mind, it ruined me.
Ooh.
Ruined me.
Okay.
Ruined
Okay.
me. We were in the car leaving for the show the next day. So we did one show in Denver. All the Board Teachers comics are all in the car. Casey, Mac, and Vinny, and Tell, and James, the owner of Board Teachers, and myself. And we're going over to, and Andrea, can't forget Andrea, we're going over to the show.
Okay.
And we had just had our first night there. We all slept, and we're heading to the show the next day. And all of a sudden, Tell, in the back, says, "Hey, guys, I didn't sleep real well because I had the weirdest experience last night. I think there was a ghost in my room."
Okay.
And
oh, wow.
Instantly, James goes, "Yeah, I saw something." And at the same time, they go, "Green? There was a green being in your room?" And he's like, "Yeah, the green being." And I'm not making this up. Casey chimes in and goes, "He was in my room too."
Wait, what?
Dude, I was like, and I at first thought they were messing with me. And no, they were dead serious. All three of them were dead asleep, woke up in the middle of the night, and saw something green hovering in their room. Like, I mean, I was like,
But I have so many questions. First question, how come they didn't scream?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I would have been terrified.
yeah.
But I don't know if it was I in my mind, I was like, it's just the altitude. You know, it's just it's Denver altitude. I've heard this before. Ghosts,
You know what?
As soon as you land in Denver, ghosts arrive in your hotel. And they're just like, "Yep."
Bro, are you kidding me?
I was like shocked listening to this, and I didn't say a word. I was like, you know? And what do you think happened that night that I went to bed?
Stop. You saw. No.
I did not see anything.
Okay.
Because I spent the entire time underneath the sheets going, "Please don't hurt me, green thing. Please don't hurt me, green thing." I was, dude, I played it so cool in the car, and I got into my hotel room, and right before bed, I shut off all the lights, and I remembered, and I was like, I need to turn on another light. I turned on a light, and I was just sitting there, and I was like looking around. I'm like,
I don't blame you.
And I was like, could it have been this? Could it have been that? Could it have been? And then I was like, I was so scared. No. And that's the thing. They didn't get a second night in the hotel. They all had red eyes. They left me. They left me
with the green monster.
So not only the green monster, but maybe 3 green monsters. So now we've got 3 green monsters and a baby. And I am.
But here's what I love about your story. You're talking about, hey, I need to put on another light because everyone knows that ghosts hate light.
They do.
Unnatural light.
They hate unnatural light.
They don't like it at all.
And I seriously had all the lights off, laid in bed, and I was like, that ain't gonna work. No. And I got up and I flipped on the bathroom light, and I was like, okay, we'll just leave that right there,
bro.
And I didn't see anything,
Devin. No.
But that said, the DoubleTree Hilton in Denver, Colorado. If you're listening to this, Ghost Adventures, I have a mission.
Gotcha.
And that's the place you need to go.
Well, it was Denver, so I'm pretty sure it was a weed monster.
It was. It was, yeah.
But I give you a lot of credit because you went back to that hotel and slept. I'm going to tell you right now, my people, we do not do ghosts. We treat ghosts like the Shark Tank, and for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah,
okay, we don't stay.
What do you mean by your people? I'm just kidding. I'm just
Fat
kidding.
people.
Oh, yeah. You're like, I can't run away from that.
No, we can't. Literally.
I was scared, not going to lie, but I made it through.
God bless you. I would not have stayed.
Yeah. So I saw a lot of teachers at the shows. They were cool. They weren't green monsters, and they were awesome people. Now, I will say, Denver, my blood boils for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, only altitude again.
Okay.
But it's really because when we were there, we were talking to the crowd, and we're like, so it feels good to be on winter break, right? And they're like, not exactly. And I was like, what do you mean not exactly? Like one more day? They got you on a work day?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we teach up till Friday.
What?
Literally, yeah. They taught right up to Christmas. And I tell you right now, I would have a job right up to the week before Christmas because I'm quitting that job.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They don't have a winter break till the day before Christmas.
Right.
Do you know how many kids are checked out mentally that last week?
Right. And they might have got a snow day. So, when we did the shows, I was looking ahead and we performed on a Monday and the Wednesday. So they were supposed to teach till Friday, but the Wednesday, the high was -8.
Wow.
Which I joked on stage with them about.
Woo.
I said, how do you have a high be a negative number? You wouldn't open up your bank account and be like, -$8, that's high.
We're up.
Yeah, we're doing good. That's not it. I told them, I said, I love Denver. I said, but I never want to come back when it's cold because it was brutal. I said, I'm from Florida. And if I took you on a tour of Florida, I would be like, oh, there's Epcot and there's Disney World. And over here, we have the beaches. But when you go to Denver, they're like, over here is where the Donner Party ate their uncle. And over here is where they filmed The Shining. Yeah. And, it's over here, Frosty the Snowman, a fairy tale, they would say.
Yes.
Not here in Denver.
No.
He's our mayor.
That's right. And if you look over here, you'll see the Doubletree that's haunted by a green monster.
The green monster. Yeah, so Denver, you got some things to work on, but hopefully we'll be back. Now, I will say this. I wanted to get into an interesting teaching subject because I got report cards. The end of the year came. And report cards came out. I saw my kids' report card. Not bad. Not bad. I got 3 kids in school. They're making progress, doing good things. We're getting positive remarks.
Good.
I have a small issue with grading, and I don't know if you can understand this, but as I was pulling out my kids' work, so the end of the quarter came, and we get a stack of work from one of my children. And I won't say who because a teacher may listen and be like, oh, but they'll know, I guess. Anyways, sorry for calling you out. But I pulled out this stack of paper. And, James, it was so weird to me because I pull it out, and it says that my child has a 68 on this assignment.
Oh, wow.
A 68.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my gosh. A 68, how terrible is that?
That's a red flag.
How terrible is that? Or it was 68. So. Yeah. I was like, gosh, what did you get wrong? And I looked over the assignment, and there were 4 questions. He got 1 wrong. That's a percentage.
Yes.
She grades in percentages, but all of the papers were 4 questions, 3 questions, 2 questions. If it was 2 questions and there was 1 wrong, she wrote at the top 50%. Which don't get me wrong, is correct.
Yes, it is.
But to a kid, dude, I would be devastated.
Absolutely.
If I got papers that were 68, 64, 70%, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing terrible.
Yes.
And I thought my child was doing absolutely horrible.
Yes.
And then I noticed it's just 1 question wrong on everything. And I'm like, we got to switch the grading scale up. You want
to change it?
Well, no, I just think that percentages might not be the way to go.
Because it's going to get into the kid's head. If they see a low number, they're going to think to themselves, oh my God.
Absolutely.
If I got a 50% on anything, I'd be like, I need to do something different.
Imagine handing that to your parents.
Yeah. You'd be
sorry,
terrified.
I got a 50%. It's like, oh, what? You're grounded forever. Oh, you missed 1 question?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, because we've all missed 1 question.
We all have. But you bring up a very interesting point, though, Dev. I forget that you're not only a teacher, but you're a teacher that's a parent. Yeah. So you get the seed on both sides.
I'm so judgmental.
I imagine you being the teacher that goes to open house talking to your kids' parents like, oh, you're
I'm in the back of the room like, well, if you want to do it that way.
Oh, that's interesting. That's how you do it? Oh, that's fine.
That's funny. What page of Marzano was that? I don't remember that one. You're that Yeah, well, Florida Ethics Committee will have something to say about this. Page 7, line 4, stanza 3.
Yes. I love that, though. That's a very unique position that you have.
But also, let me tell you, there's a unique position as well in that I've been the teacher who has the parent that is a teacher, and you do feel a pressure.
And judged.
Yeah, especially when they're on a nationally recognized top-rated podcast like Teacher.
That is true.
In my car.
That is true.
I got that so wrong. I need to stutter through everything.
The parents, I imagine the teacher calls you Mr. Siebold.
Yeah.
It's still that. Like,
right.
Mr. Siebold.
Dude, I went to a meeting, and it was so funny because I went to a meeting for my kid, and there was a school psychologist there. Oh. And the second I walk in, she was like, and I was like, hi, everybody. How's it going? And she's like, it's him.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, oh, hey. I was like, do you watch my videos? She goes, we watch them every night.
Oh, wow.
Her and her husband would like watch them on YouTube. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. So who do I have to bribe to get a good grade around here for my child? You know, but no. But that's the grading thing. Back to the grading thing. I do want to say, you know, I disagree with that, but I also, you see different stories. We don't have like uniform scales of grading. What do you think about this, James? Some schools don't let you go below a grade. Like the 50 is the lowest you can go.
It's not an accurate depiction of how my kid's doing, though.
It's a fail-safe so that you can just do a little bit of, like it used to be like, okay, you got a 0. Well, you got to do a lot of work to make that up.
Absolutely.
But if you got a 50, just a little bit of work, Let's get you back on that graduation track so that we can get our state funds.
Okay, I get it. I get the state fund things. Now you bring that up. That's how they, stay open.
Kids are a money sign to these.
But is my kid really getting a great education from that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the minimum 50. I mean, there's kids that literally never come to class and they have a 50. I saw comments online from other teachers that said that the minimum was like a 60. So like they couldn't even fail.
Wow.
They got a D. Well, I'm not coming. Why would I come? Give me the.
There's no incentive.
Yeah, give me the diploma. I'll stay home and play God of War.
That's actually sad though, because you see kids just get moved up, and you just see kids pass, and they didn't try, and they don't really know the information. So what are they going to do?
I would love to get into that with you, but that is a deep one because the automatic progression of students in the school system is a major problem. And I want to do that on another episode because I think we can devote a whole discussion to the automatic progression of students. They just, man.
But that's not how real life works. No. That's not how the world works. I can't go to a job and just not show up.
Right.
And get rewarded for it.
My child getting one question right should not have a D.
No.
And trust me, I talked to a school psychologist that agreed with me.
And you can see her in my next video.
Yeah, she's going to come by your classroom and have a talk with the way that, because psychologically speaking, I'm pulling out these grades going, and then I'm going, oh, okay.
Okay, now we understand.
Let's jump into the teachers in the news. Why don't we, James? Look at this. I got a fancy desk.
You do.
Here.
Look at you.
Moving on up.
Came back from Denver acting different.
I know. They gave me a coffee table. Okay. Let's see what we got here. An Ohio teacher is, this one is interesting.
Okay.
Because I want to get your opinion on this.
All right.
There is an Ohio teacher that says she has been forced to resign because she refuses to use students' preferred pronouns. Yeah, so she said religious reasons, for religious reasons, sorry, I can't. I know students say they want to be referred to as this, that, they, them, he, she. I am not going to do that. I'm going by the specific gendered approach.
The name they were given at birth.
Yeah, she said, I understand it's not my place to force my religious beliefs on one another. However, these are the lines I will not cross, and they would violate my conscience and my God. And the lawsuit says that they didn't give her the option to transfer or go to another classroom, and she's taken on legal counsel and I guess is potentially going to sue them. Yeah. I don't know. It's such a fine line that you go, I understand your religious point of view, but also I think that in the process of denying the happiness of these kids and recognize them by their true pronouns, I think that's also taking almost the most unchristian like response.
That's where I was going to go with that. Absolutely. As a parent of a trans kid.
Mm-hmm. And most people don't know that.
No, they don't know that. Yes, yeah. I have a transgender son. Mm-hmm. His name is Jack. And as a parent, you want your child to feel comfortable.
Right.
You want your child to feel like they're not alone.
Especially in an atmosphere where they are spending most of their day.
Absolutely.
And around their peers, because their peers are who they go for acceptance for the most.
That's right.
And if they don't have the teacher acknowledging who they are, then it creates a split between them and the teacher, and then a split between them and the other kids.
Absolutely.
And I had students that weren't necessarily supportive of trans rights.
And it's going to be like that.
Right.
It's going to be that way.
I will say I kind of I had trans students, and I had students that asked me to use their preferred name, preferred pronouns, mm-hmm. and I honored that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like other students in the class felt like that was a thing to do. There was a follow suit. If I had pushed back, I feel like they would have. You're the role model in this particular point of view.
And all they're asking for is, this is my name.
Right.
And we took it a step further. What we did when we first found out that Jack was transitioning, and we had a talk, and we went through counseling, and there's actual counselors that's what they do.
Right.
They specialize in talking to families when a child is going through a transition. So we understood that this is who Jack was. It wasn't a choice. This is who he was. So we had his name legally changed. Mm-hmm. So you had to call him by his legal name, because that's one of the things people don't realize when we're talking about trans rights. You can legally change your name to anything you want it to be. And I would push back with that teacher saying that it goes against my religion to call you a different name, because teachers have always called kids by their nickname. So wouldn't that be going against God too, if that was your logic? She probably wouldn't take that stance with a nickname. So why are you doing it because it's a trans thing?
Yeah.
So think about it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because it's funny you say that, because I hadn't even thought about that. But when I do roll my first day, I go, tell me if there's anything else you want to be referred to as, or if there's another name, a nickname, a shortened name, a version. And there's a lot of students like that.
Yes.
And they're most of them are not trans, but it's still one of those things that we've just done for so long. Even when I was a kid.
And nobody bats
an eye. It was like Devin, or you want Dev, or like, Big D, a Big D, please.
Okay, yeah. Because my son Isaiah goes by Izzy. Like, that's his nickname. Yeah, and no one said, no, I can't call you that. That's going against. Yeah. So you would go with a nickname. So why make the big deal? Why take a stance not to call a trans kid by the name they want to be called?
I agree. All right, next up, the election is over.
Uh-oh.
And therefore, the pandering is over. And we have discovered that firsthand in the state of Florida. Ron DeSantis, our governor, very loved here in the state of Florida. Teachers, I'll be real, a lot of people outside of Florida go, oh, you must love Ron DeSantis. Teachers don't. And the reason is you see things in the headlines, we know. It's like, oh, the minimum, this is going to be this much pay. And then they underfund the counties, and the counties go, yeah, we can't pay that. Mm-hmm. Well, the fact that they couldn't pay us the minimum that he acknowledged doesn't go in the media.
Nope.
The one that he tells you we get paid goes in the media, and things,
And people don't know that, by the way.
Yeah, there's so much hype around these announcements, but they never come to fruition. They never actually happen. Now, this one, though, as soon as the election's over, we've got Ron DeSantis did he did a press conference and announced the Freedom Blueprint. And let me tell you right now, there is no bigger red flag than calling something the Freedom Blueprint. None. The more freedom you put into the title of a bill, I know that it has the least amount of freedom in it. The Freedom Blueprint proposal is the state's largest anti-union proposal, anti-educator proposal that we have had to date. Teachers' unions. Now, I have been in a teachers' union. I was a member of a teachers' union for 13 years, all my years as a teacher. And guess how I paid my union dues?
Each check, right?
Out of my paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Came out automatically. Yeah. Ron DeSantis said, why don't we require mailed-in checks to your union every month?
Okay, first off, Ron, No one has checks anymore.
Nobody. Which is what he wants. Which is what he wants.
He's trying to make it hard.
Trying to make it harder to stay in a union in Florida. Now, this will not just apply to teachers' unions, just so you know. Other unions as well have to maintain 50% membership, or else they're subject to strict requirements of recertifying them. And not only that, but that monthly thing. And also, every year, I didn't have to say I still want to be in the union. I had to opt out. Now you have to opt in again after every year. So every year you have to opt back into your teachers union, and every month you have to mail in a check.
That is shady at its best.
Yes. And oh, look, well, we didn't get your check this month. Guess the union's down below 50%. Guess we got to disband them soon. I'm so sorry about that.
My bad.
And I'll tell you right now, there's a reason that came out a month after the election.
Because he knew.
He knew. All right. Now, I got sad news.
Uh-oh.
I got sad news, but good news.
Okay.
Good news. I mean, I always think death is such a sad thing, but a celebration.
Of life.
Yes. There was a teacher, and this teacher apparently passed away recently, and they were 101 years old.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, 101 years old, and his name was Jim Booth. Okay, now Jim Booth, I believe, says the Somerset area. I believe he was British.
Okay.
Now, this teacher has an interesting backstory. He was in a submarine scouting the locations for D-Day and guided all the ships to their landing positions.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
That's pretty impressive.
They said that he had to go along the beaches of Normandy. He said they did an interview with him a long time ago for BBC Radio, and said he had to go along the beaches of Normandy, find the spot, and then send out a beacon that the shore couldn't see to guide the ships in, because there's no GPS back then.
No.
And they needed to know where to go to in the cover of night.
Yes.
For the morning landing at Normandy. So he guided the ships to Normandy and was one of the first ashore.
A hugely dangerous job.
A service to your nation.
Yeah.
And then he decided to become a public servant and became a teacher after that. So became a teacher for many years. Now, obviously Mr. Booth lived to be 101, a good life, very honored. It says all the outpouring of support that came from him and everything. But it's cool. I just wanted to give a shout out to him, because obviously that's a hero and a teacher.
Fronts.
Yeah, a hero on two fronts for sure. Now, this last one that we got is one of those, you wouldn't see it coming unless you opened your eyes and looked at it coming your way.
Okay.
Teachers are mad. Parents are mad.
Okay.
Parents are mad because there are no teachers. Parents are mad because there's no teachers. They are expressing frustration in this news article. Apparently, some 7th graders in Kingston City School District have spent the first few months of the school year without a teacher for Spanish class. Instead, the school has opted for a virtual online program that they subscribe to, where students go into the class. There is no teacher at all, no assistant at all, and they take a virtual course on the computer. And their grades apparently are suffering. Apparently, one parent said, "My daughter isn't somebody who doesn't want to learn. She is a junior National Honor Society, an award winner last year. Every other grade she has is 95 or higher. Yet she's failing in this class because there is no teacher. How are we getting this education to the students who are desperately in need of somebody to guide them?" Because I've seen this before. We had students that would fall behind in government or economics.
Yes.
And they needed it to graduate. So instead of having them fail the course, they would pull them out early and throw them onto a computer in a lab. And there was no teacher in there. And they would just have to do the online course expedited, go, and fly through it. But there's nobody instructing.
No. So they're not really retaining the information. They're just learning information for a set of questions.
Time out. You learning? No. They are Googling the information, copying, pasting the results, trying to click multiple choice answers that are easily found online. I guarantee you could talk to any student that walked out of there going, "Hey, what'd you learn today?" They go, "How to properly search."
Copy paste.
Copy paste. Yeah. Did you know Control V is I learned that today. It's like, wow, you're going places.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So as a parent, they said, I am concerned that she's not going to get what she needs because clearly what is happening in the classroom isn't correlating to an education. As a parent, I am perfectly fine paying for Duolingo. Duolingo, you know what that is? The app.
Yeah.
Paying for this Rosetta Stone. Yeah. I'd rather see my daughter utilize this time for independent study where we just pay for programs for her to learn, but currently she's not learning anything.
Well, my question is this. Where is this at? What state?
Hudson Valley. So it's got to be New York, I would think. But
it can't be New York. There's not a lack of Spanish people.
Well,
to teach the course.
In Hudson Valley, there may be a lack of Spanish people that are willing to teach there because I'll be real, a lot of New York is very high priced. So it's not just Spanish teachers. I mean, you say Spanish people, Spanish speaking. No, it's just teachers across the board.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm being facetious, of course, but yeah.
I know, but when you think about it, the parents have complained for so long, and now the teachers are going, and James, I just think it has to be the circle of life. From the day the parents logged onto Facebook and then logged in again to change their password because they were fished. They complained and complained about the teachers, and now finally they're getting their wish. Get a new job is what they said in the comments. Why are you complaining? That's how life works. You don't deserve a full year's pay when you only work half. You're there for the kid, not the perks. And so we left the career behind us. And now if you're lucky, class is held without a sub. No one on campus is licensed. And the rooms are now packed to the cusp. Now the parents are back online complaining about the lack of teachers in the class. But you were all the ones that caused it. And now you can kiss my former teacher ass. It's the circle of life. It's the circle of life. And it moves us so. Good job, James. Good job. We nailed it. Thank you guys for tuning in to Crying in My Car.
And now Disney's going to come shut us down.
We're shut down. As soon as you started, I saw our producer over there. He's like, it sounds just like the song. There's no way we're getting past the YouTube censors. But no, thank you guys. Be sure to find us online. Obviously, devincomedy.com for upcoming tour dates and obviously all my socials. Board teachers, follow them, of course. And James?
Please follow me on Instagram at James Yon Comedian. That's YON Comedian.
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Share it, rate it 5 stars. 5 stars on the iTunes. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers.
Peace and love.
Hey everybody, you've been listening to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Please hit that subscribe button. It's right here. Don't hit the X. Don't hit the crazy tabs over here. You can hit this man.
Okay.
You can hit him, physically assault him. Most people do. Okay. But thank you so much. Just hit the subscribe. Just do it. We're here. We got 6 more seconds. And we're just kind of winding 6
hit
more.
It.
Just 5, 3, 2.
You know you want to. I know you do.
That one. Maybe over here. I don't know.